Alright, so a brand new webcomic chapter literally just came out like a few hours ago, and it's pretty early where I am right now, but I just decided let me just record this webcomic chapter because why the hell not? But before we get into, all this webcomic goodness, I just need to put a disclaimer that this video will obviously contain One Punch Man webcomic spoilers. So if you're a anime only, a manga only, just if you're a One Punch Man fan that doesn't read the webcomic or is up to date with the webcomic, then this video will contain spoilers, so tread carefully. Now this chapter is actually chapter 141, and the last chapter we got was 140, which was like 3 months ago, so it's pretty good to get a new webcomic chapter. Now this chapter actually was pretty good, and it was actually pretty emotional, to be honest. Well, obviously the person that died in this chapter is someone that's really special to Genos, but we will get into that in the video. But before we get into all that good stuff, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you like One Punch Man, because I post a lot of damn One Punch Man content on the channel, and why not? Subscribing takes like 1 second. But let's just get into the damn video. Now this chapter obviously starts off with Genos looking at Dr. Cusano on the floor about to die, and the 3 robots that killed Dr. Cusano are pretty much taunting Genos, and this obviously makes Genos very angry. And it is revealed that all the 3 robots that killed Dr. Cusano are dragon level threats, which is obviously a very big problem for Genos, because it hasn't been revealed yet that Genos can take on 3 dragon level monsters or 3 dragon level robots. Now Genos and these robots are exchanging hits, but it's obvious that Genos is being overwhelmed at this point, and these robots are pretty much just talking down on Genos at this point. They're just pretty much making fun of him, saying he's not strong enough. And to be completely honest, these guys are pretty strong. I mean, they are dragon level threats, but Genos does start to put in some work, but it's not really enough to damage these robots. And Genos uses a super magnetic core to create like a whole, I guess kind of like Eustace Kid from One Piece, with like a whole metal arm, but instead it's kind of like a drill, and he tries to use it against the robot, but obviously it doesn't work. And the robots actually compliment Genos and say if he was able to perfect his super magnetic core ability, he would be able to get to the top of the heroes essentially. So they're basically saying if Genos was to train these special abilities he has, he would be at the top of the hero world, which is obviously very impressive, and just goes to show how how much potential Genos has. Now these 3 robots actually go in and all charge Genos all at once, and obviously Genos is being overwhelmed, he's being beat around, and it looks at this point that Genos is about to be beaten, and we actually see that Genos uses a lightning core and uses a high voltage tackle to try and, I guess, take on these robots. And it actually shows that Genos is pretty much going into overdrive. Genos is going beyond his limits here, and Genos is able to actually completely destroy all of these robots one by one. And he uses a super incineration cannon to defeat one of them. Then he uses a heavy machine gun blow to get rid of another one, and then he uses a meteor strike to finish the last robots. And we actually see that Genos was actually able to defeat all of these dragon level robots. And this just goes to show how strong Genos is when he goes into overdrive. And at this point it doesn't look like Genos is he's not about to die or anything, so it's actually proven here that Genos can take on 3 dragon level opponents without having to, I guess, sacrifice his life, which is very, very impressive, and it honestly really did surprise me in this chapter. But it's actually revealed that these robots can all fuse together to become one robot, even if they are all, essentially killed. And this robot fuses, and at this point I'm pretty sure this robot is probably like about a high dragon, maybe approaching a high dragon, because 3 dragon level robots combining together will create an even stronger robot. So this robot is about a high dragon, maybe approaching high dragon, but this robot is obviously putting pressure on Genos, and Genos can't defeat this robot. Although Genos does try and use a final smash on the robot, but obviously it doesn't work. And we actually see Saitama come in, and obviously Saitama completely destroys all of these robots all at once, which is obviously pretty expected from Saitama. And we actually see that Genos is at his limit right now. He's not about to die or anything, but he's at his limit, and it looks like he's in pretty bad shape. And we actually turn over to Dr. Cusano, and this is probably the saddest parts in this chapter, and this is a pretty major character death because Dr. Cusano is a big part of Genos' life and just Genos' development in the series in general, because without these upgrades from Dr. Cusano, Genos would not be who he is today, or he wouldn't be as strong as he is today. And we actually see that we have a bit of an emotional moment between Genos and Dr. Cusano, and Genos is essentially just standing there in complete awe as he's seeing his creator die in front of his eyes. And we actually see that Dr. Cusano he's apologizing to Genos and saying, maybe if he lived a quiet life, then Genos wouldn't have to, face these consequences and he wouldn't have to die. But obviously, it's not Dr. Cusano's fault because Dr. Cusano just wanted to help Genos and, getting revenge on the demon cyborg or the mad cyborg. And we actually see that Genos and Dr. Cusano are finally parting ways. And this is honestly probably one of the saddest parts or the saddest moments in One Punch Man. And when this gets adapted to an anime, it's going to be pretty big because Dr. Cusano has been part of One Punch Man from the very beginning. But we actually hear that Dr. Cusano actually leaves one last upgrade for Genos in like one of his chambers, and we actually see that Genos comes out of these chambers, and we see that Genos has his final upgrade essentially. And I'm guessing this upgrade for Genos is going to be the last one he's going to have for a pretty long time until he finds another way to upgrade himself. But for now, I'm pretty sure Genos is like a high dragon because he was able to defeat 3 dragon level opponents at once. Even though he had to go overdrive and surpass his limits, he was still able to defeat 3 dragon level opponents, which is something that a high dragon is very capable of doing or can do. And we actually shift over to the city, and we see that there's a bunch of robots just destroying the city, and we actually see Blue here as well, and Blue is very confused on what's going on, and we can only assume that these robots are from Metal Knight. And Metal Knight right now, we don't know where he is, but I'm pretty sure he is the culprit for this because Metal Knight does have a lot of robots in his laboratory. And I guess now Metal Knight is making his move and he's about to destroy the city. And I guess Metal Knight is going to challenge the Hero Association because Metal Knight looks like he has his own sense of justice, and I'm guessing he's trying to carry his own sense of justice out right now through the use of his demon robots or his mad robots. And I'm pretty sure the mad cyborg might be amongst these robots, but we still don't know. And to be honest, the next chapter might be even more crazy than this chapter. Well, it's going to be pretty hard to top this chapter because, to be honest, this chapter shows many different things, like the potential of Genos, how strong Genos is currently, the death of Dr. Cusano, and these robots rampaging the city. But that's pretty much it for this chapter, and this chapter was probably one of the best chapters so far in the webcomic. I wouldn't say it's top 5, but it's definitely up there as one of my favorites because it does have a pretty major character death, and I honestly did like Dr. Cusano. He did seem like a very nice guy, and he did help Genos with his upgrades and was overall just a really good guy. So seeing him die was pretty sad, but that's pretty much it for this video. And if you liked the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in my next video.